Hey guys, welcome back and happy Wednesday. So quickly, another no trade day for me. Crazy 3 days in a row. I don't think I've done this for like 2 years where I just didn't trade. It feels weird to me, but at the same time, I'm watching these tickers with you guys pre-market and at the market open. And there's no point to trade. I'll talk about the tickers that we were looking at really quickly near the end, but what I really want to focus on is the overall markets because that's really where the interest is, and I think that's really where you could be making some good money right now. So it's 11:35 right now Eastern Standard Time. And I think the Fed's going to be talking about at 2:30 or so. That's when Powell is going to drop the hammer on us. But it's also a critical time in terms of price action. Yesterday was a little bit of a doji candle where we weren't able to break out from Monday's hammer candle. And today we're just slightly going up, but with very low volume. And I'm always nervous about low volume green candles because oftentimes they get smashed right back down. And what I really want to highlight on that is look at this huge resistance coming in. We broke that 180-day SMA, and this is just a huge resistance zone. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to keep crawling up here. Maybe there's going to be good news coming out that helps the market crawl up a little bit more. But if we're lacking volume, I feel like we might get whacked back down. If you just look at the Dow Jones, similar situation. NASDAQ, similar situation here. It's really the SPY, which is an ETF where you can actually trade it. You can see the volume, and it just doesn't have that much volume. So overall, I'm a little bit nervous how much more we can go. If you zoom in as well on, let's say, the SPY, which is the S&P 500 futures, you can see we're really reaching a bit of a plateau area here. A lot of resistance around 440, and volume is fading. So that's, a little bit nerve-wracking for sure. And if you see on the NASDAQ as well, it's just, big resistance right here. What I think is we might get one of those little pops to the upside, but if we don't get a lot of volume and the news isn't really, really good, I'm not really sure how well that's going to hold. Dow Jones as well, you can see that beautiful V shape. But now we're approaching that just critical resistance zone. Let me go out to an hour and see if we can map it a little bit better around 350. Right around here, you can see this is where we had a few retests, breakout, retest here, and now we're kind of approaching that very critical. And actually, this even goes back perfectly right around here. So let's map that out a bit more and go back to the daily. And yeah, this is just such a critical zone. So there's going to be huge resistance there. Anyone that bought the dip, bought the big red candle, this is a phenomenal place to take some really good quick profits. And that's how I feel across the board with a lot of my swing trades, because that's kind of what I was doing. For example, with LMND, this ticker, I readjusted my portfolio a little bit. So if we just let's just zoom in here. We had that big red sell-off, and we had a big quick V-shaped bounce at the end of the day, and I closed half of my position right around this area. And then I actually ended up buying it back. So let me show you guys what I did here. And reminder, I don't like over trading my swing trades. I usually kind of like letting them sit for like 2 months, letting them simmer. But when you get this big volatility, sometimes you have that ability to take advantage of it. So for example, with LMND and many other of my swing trades, I actually ended up selling into this strong close. And I was thinking maybe I'm going to miss a little bit of upside here, but I really want to be buying back as we approach this 180 SMA. And maybe it's going to go even lower. So that was kind of my game plan. It actually ended up doing that perfectly. It pulled back around 6%. I rebought the shares that I sold, and now we're up again. So I just kind of readjusted my portfolio. And I didn't do that with all the tickers. For example, QS is one where it was a similar situation, but I wasn't able to re-enter yet. We had that high, it pulled back also about 6%, and now we're pretty much back to where I sold. So if I did that with QS, it would have worked. Now I have the option of basically just getting back in where I sold. What I'm really waiting for though is kind of to see how today plays out, because I think we're going to get some sort of attempt to maybe move higher here. Let's say we have a little bit of a bull flag, maybe we're going to have another move. But otherwise, and if we do something like that, that's where I would be selling a bit more. For example, with Clove, with LMND, if we get that move to like, let's say 34, I would probably be readjusting my portfolio again. Space is another example of a ticker that pulled back 5% or so. So I think worst case for me personally, if it goes back up here, it looks good. It means that this was probably the bottom. That was a pretty strong bounce. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to break back above 9.5. I would wait for a little bit of consolidation. I would give it a few more days to see how it goes. Most likely I would be able to buy back around 5.85 at one point, but ultimately I really want to see if we end up breaking a little bit lower past 7.5, and that's how I want to be readjusting my portfolios. With LMND, it was nice that I was able to get a fill here And again, if we go back to this 34, I'll probably be closing out this position, looking to rebuy, because right now a lot of these tickers are near all-time lows. I really like where they're at right now. The question is, are we going to get a V-shaped reversal like this one where it's just constantly an uptrend? Or is it going to be more of a bottom where we're just constantly waiting for that reversal that takes a long time to get priced in? If it looks to be like a really strong V-like reversal, we'll know because it's going to have a pretty decent breakout somewhere in this area with pretty decent volume, and then I'll be buying on the retest, just re-entering my position. Obviously with LMND I won't, because I already re-entered it, but let's say something like space, for example. If we have a really strong breakout here, I would be buying intraday pullbacks right away to re-enter this position. So that's pretty much my game plan. No matter what happens, let's say we get that nice breakout past 9.5, and a lot of these tickers look so similar. So I'll just kind of use space right now as an example. I would be looking to buy on a pullback and get that continuation. Otherwise, if we don't get a breakout here and we kind of have the price fizzling around this area for a bit longer, and then the momentum slows down, we start going back down, I'll be closing out probably the remaining of this position with the intent of rebuying. So no matter what happens right now, I feel like I'm in a good position to capitalize on any move. I have cash ready to go. So if the market keeps selling off, great. But if it doesn't, that's also fine. I'm ready to rebuy back the shares, and I've already started rebuying back shares like with LMND. So it really depends how much good news comes out and the momentum that follows that good news for me to adjust my positions. As always, I'll be sharing everything in the Discord, and you guys can see my whole portfolio just by going to tradejournal.co/Winkler. So yeah, again, pretty hands-off day. I feel like I'm actually kind of enjoying the fact that I can be a little bit more focused on the macro picture. I feel like this is really an important time to be doing that. And it also doesn't feel like there's a lot of opportunity cost with that, because, the small caps have just been so miserable. Let me just really quickly show you guys some of the small caps we were looking at. For example, we had LRN, which if this was a hot market, I would have probably been pretty interested to trade LRN somewhere in this area. But yeah, I just feel like there's so much risk on these kind of tickers where they're just not getting a really quick resolution, and I don't like buying that first pullback either. So yeah, it's just not good opportunities. With XELA, look at this open. I mean, you have this one, small breakout here, 5%, and then all of a sudden this thing pulls back, flushes 13+%. So it's tough to trade it. And then when you're trading this area right here, I feel like it's really tough because you're expecting maybe a big flush, and you don't really want to be trading front side because you'd be getting burnt on average right now so hard. And I don't know, this price action is just, it's sketchy. It's like a big range, and you just don't really get a good vibe for it. PIXY, another gapper today. Well, I don't know if you could call this gapper. I mean, just look at the daily. It's just, ranging, and all these fake outs to the upside. It'd be so hard to trade a proper front side because you're just not getting that good resolution. And look at the volume too. It's just very low overall. Actually, let me quickly show my scanner here, my small cap scanner. Yeah, look at this. All the volume here is well below 500 million. For the tickers that you actually want to be trading. And usually by now, I mean, it's 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. By now, we should be at like $1 billion volume. So very low volume across the board. What else do we have? We had VCNX. Tried a few times pre-market to do something, but this ticker was ultimately stuck in a range. And yeah, it's so easy to just constantly get shaken out here. And this is why I've been saying the last few days, if I was day trading right now, I'd probably be really focused on only trading the range. So basically identifying that this is the mean right here around 128, 1.3, give or take. And basically if you're below that, you want to buy it. And if you're above that, you want to quickly sell. Just really simple mean reversion range trading. And I really don't think I would be doing any sort of front side trading right now. BBIG, just another ticker that constantly pops up on our scanners. It did some okay stuff pre-market. I don't know if you'd even want to call this okay. Just look at all those red flushes in there and lack of continuation. It's just better probably not to trade right now. And I think that's 3 days now I haven't traded, and that's 3 days I haven't been red, which in January so far it's a red month for me. So hey, if I didn't trade any of January, I would have saved time, money, and energy. So I guess taking these 3 days off really, if anything, it's like a net positive move based on the rest of the month so far, which is a little bit annoying too, because by not trading, I'm pretty much cementing in the fact that in terms of day trading, this is going to be a red month for me, because we only have now 3 days left. Thursday, Friday, and Monday, and then the month is over. So there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to get out of the red anymore. So that's a little bit of the annoying part. Basically saying, you know what, I'm just going to pocket in this red month because there's not a lot of good opportunity to keep trading, and I'm basically avoiding the fact of just getting deeper into a hole. So I don't know. This is going to be my second red month since doing the small accounts challenge like 2 years ago. So it's not like the easiest decision, but I just feel like there's no point in being over focused on the P&L. It's always way more important being focused on the price action, the tickers, and the overall market. And the market right now is telling me, Alex, do not trade. And, I'm trying to respect that, I guess. So yeah, that's all for this day trading recap. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And don't forget to drop a like on the way out. Consider subscribing if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. And like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.